Reach underneath.
Who says you can't go home? There's only one place they call me one of their own. Just a hometown boy, born and rolling in the stone. Who says you can't go home? Who says you can't go back? Been all around the world, and as a matter of fact, there's only one place.
And welcome back. You're listening to Home Wizards, where we love to help improve your home and improve your life. Eric Stromer and Cindy Dole here, and we are having so much fun kind of giving you a sneak peek into the Pasadena Showcase House, which every year gives you, I think, all kinds of really cool ideas in terms of design and color and plants, like we were just talking with Ann Phillips. By the way, her website is gogreengardener.com. I love what she was, that riddling thing, you know.
Yeah, I love that wall.
Oh, we
so
got to
cool.
try that. But now, you know, when you go inside, it's a two-story, amazing Moorish, Spanish,
And it's apparently
1920s.
called And the House of Doors. is
the
what
House
it's
of
called,
Doors. We didn't know that. We
I
should
didn't
have
know.
used some Doors music. We'll have to do that next
Oh, man, that would be good. We'll do it next time, yeah.
time. I'm a fan.
Hello, I love you. Won't you tell me your name? It works with gardening.
Anyway,
and home
so
improvement.
there are so many things to discover when you go to the Showcase House. You don't know how to go. You can call in. Your chance to win tickets today on us, 888-539-2980, 888-539-2980. We're going to select 5 of you to go, thanks to our friends at the Showcase House and Home Wizards. So let's talk about the family room, because it's one of the spaces where you're going to go, wow, I've got some ideas, because who doesn't want to know how to get the family together?
Yeah, and also I love the idea when it's a family room where it's actually functional. You know how a lot of times people almost have staged looking areas where no one would ever want to go in.
You aren't ever-
It just looks like you're not supposed to
It's
be
like a
in
look,
there.
don't touch kind of a thing.
Exactly. That was my dad. He had one of those rooms, and it was
With
like
the plastic stuff?
Well, it got pretty close. He just
No.
put dowels across the couch, meaning like we were cats. Like, don't get up here.
Really?
Yeah.
Did anyone ever sit on any of the chairs?
Not really, no. And to this day, I've got a phobia about sitting. No, I'm kidding.
Poor Eric.
I know.
Your parents are so nice.
They're the sweetest people in the world, but boy, if you touch his
See, that makes
mahjong,
me
like I
sad.
broke his mahjong set, and that was it. I was dead to him
Oh,
from
no.
that day forward.
And here you are, home improvement guy.
I know. It's
With
the
a little bit of
psychology comes through,
With a
doesn't
chair, a little bit of a chair.
it? I have my own
problem.
seating areas. Okay.
Anyway, so picture the family room here at the Showcase House, and it's the work of the design team, designs of the interior, Genaro Lagdameo. Is that right, Lagdameo?
Yeah, that's correct.
Will you say it? It'll sound much better if you say it. What is it?
Lagdameo.
Lagdameo.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. That's sexy.
It is.
Anyway, Genaro is here, and Karen is here.
Hi, I'm
Hi,
Karen
I'm
Schoner.
Karen.
I'm the
Karen
owner
Scho-
of Designs of the
Hi.
Interior.
Hi.
So great to have you guys. Your family room, when you first were, I guess you chose to design this space.
That's
what did
correct.
it look like? I mean, you think of a 1920s home not having much of a family room.
Yes.
Yeah?
Well, it was a big room, and the first thing that came to our mind was the challenge of how to make that room really cozy. Mm-hmm. Because when you have a large room like that, and being a family room like what you have been mentioning earlier, it has to be functional. That was one of the biggest challenge.
Was
at
it like a
first.
dance hall? I mean, it was just a big room.
Almost. It was almost like a dance hall at one point. And then at the same time, too, it's because of the short ceiling. It was a little bit of a challenge to how to make it more open and more inviting. But it is a large room, and it was all painted in red when we first got into the room. The flooring, it had a combination of wood and carpet, but the wood was really light and very grainy. So it's a little distracting when you look at the flooring. But it is, once me, Karen, and Carla walk into that room, we just had a smile on our face because we know how we could transform that room into something comfortable, inviting, and functional at
Now,
the same time.
when we were talking with Ann Phillips moments ago, she said that when she first came to the house to see the before, she had to come up with her design like within a few hours. Was that the same for you guys too?
It's true. Yes, Genaro and I went there on the walkthrough day. We spent 6.5 hours touring the house. We chose our 3 rooms, and then we just wrote and sketched and described the general mood and feel and general color palette even that day. And we were so pleased. They called us the next morning at 10 in the morning and and asked us to do the family room.
And you're like, we won.
and that was our first.
So wait, is it an
That was our
oral?
first
It's an
choice.
oral presentation that day, or do you actually have to
You
turn
don't-
in your notes?
You turn in your notes, yes.
Wow,
Right.
it's like an audition.
It is.
It is. It'd be a
It
good
This is
TV show.
fantastic. I didn't realize that. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. So the creative juices were flowing, and we had a really good time brainstorming.
And do you think in
day.
that process it makes you come up with better stuff, or would you have preferred to have more time to kind of
Well,
evolve?
that wasn't the final design,
Yeah.
but it was absolutely general concept because, as Genaro said, when we approach any project, we tackle the issues first, and so we wanted to figure out the functionality of that room that would make it unique.
And aside from your design scheme, what song did you sing for the judges?
So
Genaro would be the only singer in the group.
now, Genaro and Karen, you mentioned color palette, and I mean, and you said that the before was in red.
It was.
But the after is still a very rich color with some light tones. So paint an image for everyone as we're visualizing what colors you chose, which, by the way, Dunn Edwards is the paint of
Yeah,
choice.
They
Dunn
provide
Edward-
all the paint.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we use Arabian red for the walls. But, as much as it is still red, we actually toned that down and warmed it up.
Yeah.
Well,
And,
we talked to the.
go ahead, I'm sorry,
We were
Karen.
talking to the showcase committee, and they mentioned that the homeowner really liked the cinnamon tones, and so we.
So
want-
cinnamon, that's what it is, isn't it?
Well, we wanted her to love the room after we left, and
Mm-hmm.
so we decided we should have a significant amount of the room in that color just to please her. We always try and please our clients. So
Yeah, you don't want to impose your design sensibility if the homeowner isn't into it.
Exactly.
Obviously. Yeah, and
Exactly.
I just have to say a little something to everyone here. Okay,
Yeah.
take a look at the color of that wall. That looks a little bit like Eric Stromer's family room color. Isn't that interesting? Oh my! Well, maybe I do have it after all.
We'll put the pictures up on the website,
right.
but we're looking at this little cove that's in your room, and it has, like, you'd call it cinnamon. Is it the official color
Well,
of the paint?
it would be more in that, in the warmer tone. We could call it paprika.
Yeah, 'cause you know what there is. I think throughout the house you see a lot of blues. You see some bright, like out by the pool. You see the cobalt or the peacock blue, and then you see the paprika and some oranges. But you've really toned it down as well with some kind of a cream off-white furniture. Talk about that.
Well, like not just on the furniture, but also if you notice in the ceiling too, we did tone that down. And what it did was it bring the feel much higher. I mean, a lighter feel. But the nice technique that we added on that, aside from just the light colors, we glazed that ceiling and really added some details, like the stencil work that you see on the corners of the beams. Showcase, people go in there to get ideas, so we have to be very conscious about that by putting as much detail without overpowering the whole room, from flooring to walls to ceiling, and of course to all the pieces that are in the room.
So did you add some of those beams to the ceiling?
Well, the beam was already in there, but we did added some corbels, to add some
The texture,
finishing
yeah.
touches. And also we did resand the whole thing, and it actually took us over a week, about 9 days.
Well,
to
that's
be
still
exact.
fast.
Yes,
Right?
Just for the beams.
Just for the beams
Oh.
to resand
Wow.
and refinish.
And then what did you glaze the ceiling with?
We glazed it with it's a glazing material that made it feel like more like a sepia tone,
okay.
so it
I
tones
see.
it down, because in all the stencil work in there, you'll see all the different colors that we play with.
Right.
Is you'll see Prussian blues and some golds in that stencil, and that actually ties in all the colors in the room. And a lot of people that have guests that have been walking into the room were really surprised how we incorporate Prussian blue in our drapery against the backdrop of that paprika color, because it's such a contrast. But the nice thing is the fact that like people are seeing how it worked when they go into that room. Colors are very, very important to set the mood and to make it really inviting, and that's why we really focus on that this year in doing the showcase. Now, you did mention, I'm sorry, about the light furniture.
Yes.
See, like the house is a Spanish revival, and when we design a room, we always respect the architecture of the house, but it's always important to give you that updated look. And that's how we create that. It's on most of our upholstery pieces. It's very updated, and the fabric. I mean, these are some of the newest fabric in the industry right now.
What kind of fabric is it?
Well, a lot of them are woven, and you see a lot of colors in the fabric. So this is one of the things that you're going to be seeing.
That's your secret. That's how you give it the new with the old, respecting.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that the color, wouldn't you agree, Eric, that the cinnamon doesn't feel heavy?
No,
And
it doesn't.
It doesn't feel dated
and
either.
it isn't something too. This is what's so great about designers. Again, I got a wax poetic on, but you wouldn't walk into a paint store and pull this paint swatch and think that this was going to be the color that you would use in a room. And then you see it on the wall, and it just looks absolutely perfect. It's inviting,
It's luscious,
and warm, and
isn't it?
enveloping.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing. So how can we give our listeners this confidence to go in and make choices like this? What do you do? How do you find these references?
Well, we never pick paint first, and I think that's the biggest mistake that we see in our clients when they start working with us is they want to figure out the paint color
Yeah,
first.
I always want to pick the paint
and
first.
you really shouldn't. You pick your luscious fabrics and rugs first.
Oh.
So the first thing we chose was that fabric that's the wide border on our inset rug. That was our inspiration fabric. And it has the wonderful paprikas and the Prussian blues in it.
So that becomes
And we built,
your inspiration.
That was our inspiration. And that pattern and color theme was repeated on the stenciling on the ceiling. And last of all, we picked the paint.
But that was a rug?
Yes.
So, because that's really, in my mind, I always think that the rug is the accessory that you add at the end.
No.
But that's the very first thing that you picked.
We build the fabric and the rug color
Isn't that
scheme
interesting?
So it's
first.
basically exactly opposite
Exactly
of what most people
Right.
would assume.
Yeah.
Right.
So that
Paint
really
comes in every color.
That's true.
You can get every nuance, every shade. You can get the perfect shade to complement your
Right.
fabrics.
Okay, guys, hold that thought. We're going to talk more about some of your secrets to creating a great family room. Of course, you have to have technology. And
Wait, and speaking of technology, do you take credit cards for that information? Thank you. I can process the
that
payment
was really
here.
great.
Wasn't that
Look
amazing?
for a carpet first. Eric Stromer, Cindy Dole, your chance to see the Showcase House for real on us. 5 of you are going to win today. 888-539-2980. Start calling. We're back in a moment on KFWB.
Singing songs about Southland. I miss Alabama once again.
Love overflowing.
That's right. We like to bring the love.
That's right. Love's overflowing.
It's always overflowing right here, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's-
except when it's not.
It always is.
It is pretty much most of the
Jeez.
time. Yeah.
This is Eric Stromer, and I'm
Yeah,
Cindy
hi.
Dole, and we're overflowing with good thoughts for you to
We have
enjoy
love
your
for
home.
these beautiful designers.
We love
though.
these designers.
Yeah.
We love to help improve your home and improve your life, and it's a great way to do it. A tradition for us is to explore the Pasadena Showcase House, which is just filled with all these different pockets of ideas and, oh my gosh, those aha moments. Like we were just talking a moment ago before the break about how you want to pick a carpet first. Have that as your inspiration
Right.
instead of paint.
Instead of paint, right.
So inside the Showcase House, which is this 1920s home, the design team who worked on the family room and bath really did some magic, and we're going to talk more about it with Genaro Lagdameo and Karen Schoner. And so tell us, boy, the cinnamon, paprika, the what were you calling the shade of blue?
Prussian blue.
Prussian blue.
See, if you came in and told me the names of these colors, I'd hire you on the spot, just because of the way you say them and what the
Prussian
it's
blue.
fantastic.
I mean, if
Yeah.
someone hasn't seen Prussian blue, it's kind of a, is it peacockish, peacock blue, turquoise?
Kind of a grayed out
It's
slate
light. It's a
blue,
lighter slate
kind
blue.
of.
Okay.
Yeah, Prussian blue.
Prussian. In this family room, you have not only beautiful colors that feel rich, and then you adjusted the ceiling and gave it all this great texture. But now, of course, you have a TV, and the TV is on the wall. Is that right?
That's
so talk
correct.
about how you make a room pretty, but still make it up to date with technology. You know, hiding all the yucky cords, hiding all the stuff, but yet we want to be able to be entertained.
Yeah, the technology has, it's changing all the time. In a blink of an eye, something new comes out all the time. And the difference now versus back then, before we used to hide all our equipments. Now we expose it because, it's part of the room now. And the nice thing is a lot of this technology are creating some, this equipment that are pleasant enough that it really incorporates with some of our design. This year's showcase, though, because we did the family media room back in 2010, and that one we focused a lot on the TV and stuff. This year, we did focus, as much as we have, like all this the high technology, we did focus on a lot of the intimate gatherings and, of course, like the functionality of the room. So it's interesting that we were able to find really good the technological part of the sound system, the speakers, but it's still so beautiful that incorporate with the room. Like the speakers that we did right next to the TV, they were able to color match the color of the wallpaper. So it just blends right in the wall.
So you don't see the grates at all?
You don't need, in the front speaker, you can actually see the depth on it because it's right there, but it's almost the same color and texture as the wallpaper. So it just blends right
Hide it in plain sight.
Now, how do you do that?
We have a company, we work with this media guy that has all the sources for this equipment, for this new things. And all we did was just send him a sample of our wallpaper.
And he covers it up?
And they
color matched it for us.
And they color match it. The front and the side, all of them, it's just blend right in there. And another wonderful thing that he did, because we have this beautiful work that we did on the ceiling, we have actually 3 artists that work on the stencil and the glazing and all of that. So it's such a shame to open that up and put a speaker on there. So he came up with this invisible speakers. And I tell you, it sounds like you're in a concert. It sounds so amazing. There's 4 speakers under that ceiling that you don't even see it. And when you turn up that volume, it sounds amazing. As people were looking, where's that sound coming from?
So wait, the speaker is actually plastered over?
They actually put a skim coat of plaster over the speaker, and the sound comes through it, and it's incredible.
Huh.
You cannot see it. People are standing in the room, and you see them looking around and looking at the ceiling. It's like, where's that coming from? I hear it. I
wonder
know
if
it's
that's
up there.
the same theory, Eric, as the speakers we have in our kitchen that are inside the cabinets.
Yeah,
is that the same kind
it's like a pancake speaker that fits in a door of a cabinet.
And it almost becomes the subwoofer, the door.
Yes.
Is that the same kind of philosophy?
It's the same concept, but this
Uh-huh.
is new that it really penetrates the sound like that. It's like out there.
Hollywood Bowl, here we come.
Wow.
Yes.
Boy, and how much are these little babies? At least $59.
At the very least.
At least.
A few more zeros, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah.
Ay. Wow, that sounds beautiful.
And so you're to your point, you're exposing all the receiver and all that stuff as well, or is that behind cabinets?
We have that inside a
inside.
console
Okay. Yeah,
under
I
the
see.
TV.
Okay, great.
And that's what you'll see in most design now in media is, you don't have like entertainment center or, like built-in media cabinet. You put a beautiful credenza, beautiful media console, and it becomes, a nice piece of furniture than a media cabinet.
Right.
And what about the storage for all of your stuff?
Well, it got plenty of storage, and that's the nice thing, is to be able to show a nice piece of furniture and be able to make it functional at the same time. Yeah.
Now, lighting is also something that seems just really rich in this room. Talk about some of the secrets of how you lit in different ways to make it feel like it has so much depth and movement.
Lighting, it's the one thing that accentuate the room, because again, there's all these things that we could put in the room, but at the same time, how to highlight them. So like right now, like all of our lighting have controlled by Crestron dimmer, so it controls that. And what we do too is we have uplights that actually we put underneath the behind plants, and then of course table lamps and floor lamps that kind of add to the like the different spots
And wall sconces. So you try and have the depth and the different kinds of lighting.
The layers, right? That's the
couple
strategy.
of beautiful lamps on our oyster shucker table in the room.
The oyster shucker table.
It's quite the conversation piece. It is a reproduction of an oyster shucker table, so it's all beat up and cut up at where the people shucking oysters would be, slicing open the shells and banging up the table. It has these metal receptacles on each side of it, that actually lift up and remove from the piece. So if you were shucking oysters, you would put the oyster meat and on ice in those. And
But
then you
in our
lift the
case, we
tin
put the
things
pieces of the
out.
Parcheesi game in there. That's what we're
Well,
doing.
in our case, we decided it was a great place to chill champagne.
Oh.
So we've got champagne on ice in our room.
That's
Very
nice.
nice.
That's nice.
Yeah, so it's quite the conversation piece.
So where would
anyway.
you get a shuck and jive table anyway?
Well, it's a reproduction, and what makes our design team so great, we think, is because we have so many different resources right there in our own design center, and that's
Neat.
carried by
Can we-
one of the companies
Can
that
we just
use.
acknowledge the third party
Oh.
here? Our other designer's she's a little shy and doesn't want to talk, but she's standing in the room, and I just want her to say her name so at least we all know who she is.
Hi, I'm Carla Padour.
Yay, Carla! Yay! She did it. Good. Okay.
So if we had to, as we were taking the tour of the Showcase House, be inspired by one thing as we were walking through your room, what do you hope that we, when we look at your family room, you go, you know what, that is the takeaway. That's the message. That's what we should be, remembering your work by.
I would say it's the feel of the room, because we've been hearing a lot of people that go into the room that they don't want to leave the room.
And
And
you're like, you got to go, and they're not leaving.
and I know when they say that, we achieve our
Isn't that
goal
nice?
in making a comfortable room. And again, especially it's a family room. There's a lot of details, like from the cocktail table that's made out of the door, from the dog bed that we
The dog bed.
The dog bed. That was just and then of course some little details too, like the shadow boxes we put in the bookcase, the duffel bag table. I mean, all this little detail will not be as important if people will not feel like the way they feel right now.
Well, and another little secret, I think, is it has a lot of stuff in it, but it doesn't feel like it has stuff in it. It
Right.
doesn't feel cluttered
It's
at
not
all.
too full.
It's just perfectly arranged. And I love how the furniture, too, as they're large pieces of furniture, the
They are.
sofas.
But there's some cutout backs to them,
Cutout backs
which
to
gives
them.
it an airiness,
and
doesn't
they
it? Yeah.
aren't all
Right.
up against the wall, right? That's one of the
Correct.
lessons. You don't want us to put all our furniture against the
No,
wall.
never.
I mean, there's just kind of like little destinations. You have a seating area here and a...
Well, it's a rectangular shaped room, so that has its challenges. So our goal was to create an intimate, welcoming, warm setting that was very functional, so it would work for a couple spending an evening together, or a family, or you can open up the patio doors on either side of that room and have a party with hundreds of guests that would flow in and out. The sofa table is a wonderful sofa table, but it's actually a flip-top table, so you can flip that open, fill the table with food, and use it as a buffet. I mean, every piece in that room was thought out to function
And we're not
for
leaving.
gatherings and comfort.
All right, thanks, guys. Genaro Lagdameo and Karen Schoner, and your website is interiordesignwestlake.com.
That's right.
Okay?
That's right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Love the room.
Thank you.
And we'll have to take it all in when we go to the Showcase House. All right, well, you have more chances to call in to see the Pasadena Showcase House on us, on our friends at the Showcase House. Just call it 888-539-2980. We'll name 5 of you winners at the end of the show. 888-539-2980. Eric Stromer, Cindy Dole, Hour 2, coming your way right now.